Before we attack each other and tear ourselves to shreds like a pack of maniacs, let's just open the sack first and see what's actually in it. It might not even be worth the trouble.
Hi.
How about no?
I beg your pardon?
It's all downhill from here.
Hey guys, it's your boy Dragon, back at it again with another dumpster dive, and really man, I just did the American Society of Magical, which I recommend you check out as well if you want to watch a worse trash fire than this, and I was hoping this movie would at least be more entertaining than that one, but holy Christ, I can't believe I have to use this so early on, but this is too accurate and I want to get this over with quickly, so roll the clip please.
Cause we're boring! We're so boring!
This is good
Yeah, so the entire premise of this film's plot is that at the beginning we get what I assume is a practice run of what later turns out to be a press conference where the US president of some near future, played by Nick Offerman, makes an announcement to the entire country that's basically summed up as, "People of America, have no fear. We are closer to victory than ever before. The California and Texas secessionist governments have suffered a great loss at the hands of the US military, and the Florida Alliance was stopped enforcing the great people of the Carolinas in joining the secession. We will claim a historic victory against our enemies, and the American people will receive back Texas and California once their secessionist governments are eradicated." After that, we get a shot of Kirsten Dunst playing a top-tier reporter known as Lee Smith that for some reason photographs the president on TV, beginning the longest clickbait journey a movie has ever made me take out of foolish hope that it would turn out well if I kept watching until the end.
Oh boy.
Anyway, the whole story from this point on is simply Kirsten Dunst is trying to photograph as much as she can of the California insurrection, and that is where she meets this other junior reporter called Jessie by coincidence because she saves her from getting killed by something, I'm not sure, because the movie just cuts from her photographing something to her just dragging Jessie out of the crowd, but that doesn't matter because boom! Something blew up, and now we gotta start taking some more pictures of dozens of dead people because I don't know if you noticed, but that random blonde lady from like a minute ago that dropped a bag was actually dropping a shrapnel bomb that killed all those people.
I have several questions.
No, you don't!
Moving on, we then get a scene where Kirsten Dunst is discussing with other reporters about the war, and wait a minute, is that Stephen McKinley? What the hell is he doing in this movie? Oh well, I guess he needed the extra paycheck and is now acting as someone in this reporter entourage, because as I was about to say previously, these two, along with another reporter named Joel and the unexpected fourth wheel Jesse, will now go on the biggest, most boring Last of Us ripoff road trip in history because all of them want to drive up to Washington, D.C. in the hopes of getting an interview with the US president before the Civil War is over, even though they've been warned multiple times prior that doing such a thing could potentially get them killed because there are rogue militia groups roaming around the country at this time because of the chaos of the war.
Who cares?
However, it seems that these people, even if most of them are war photographers / reporters, decided to do a roll of the dice in the hopes that it falls on them favorably, and after 15 minutes, the main portion of the plot kicks in, and yeah. I'm sorry to say guys, but not much happens in the next 1 hour and 7 minutes of this film, plot-wise, because you've actually been baited into watching a Civil War field trip simulator.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, so throughout most of the movie, what ends up happening is that we find out in the most matter-of-fact comment from Stephen McKinley that most people could have easily missed because it's only mentioned in a random conversation scene in the span of 24 seconds that the reason this war began was possibly because somehow the American people allowed a president to have more than 2 terms of tenure, they allowed him to disband the FBI, and that somehow people even allowed this tyrannical maniac to drop airstrikes on American citizens.
What the f*** is this?
I don't know.
That sounds about right.
The plot then conveniently moves away from what I think would have been a big bullet point in a movie titled Civil War into focusing more on the quartet's road trip where they meet 3 groups of rebel people that I think I can summarize in 3 points. First, we got the rebellious crackheads and homeless people that I guess took over California because now they're only accepting Canadian dollars and love torturing the shit out of people before killing them. Second, we got the warmongering scallywags of the Midwest that love fighting against American soldiers so much that they now do Al-Qaeda fighting maneuvers and executions that gets one of the war reporters, Joel, so hard because he can't get enough of that murder and mayhem. In fact, the movie wants you to know how much they love what they do, that they even show them doing exactly what I just described previously while some random 90s hip-hop track is playing in the background for no reason. Like seriously, this track feels so off-tone that I just sat back and said,
okay, well, that's random.
Lastly, we got our old reliable West Virginia hillbillies that somehow got fused with neo-Nazi militia group mentality. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, what I'm trying to say is that as long as you're American, you won't get shot and killed by them. But if you ain't American, you get shot on the spot because you're a parasitic colonizer. And let me just say that Joel's forgettable friend should probably have not said he was born in China because he gets immediately killed on the spot by these psychos. Unfortunately, poor Stephen McKinley gets shot by a stray bullet and bleeds to death on the way to the rebel base camp because he wanted to save everyone else's asses from death, and that is about 85% of the reporter road trip experience.
Huh?
The remaining 15% is just that they come across a town that is somehow completely untouched by the civil war that is going on around them, and when Joel asks them how is it that nothing has happened to them, the lady at some clothing store just goes, "Oh yeah, with all that we hear in the news about the war, we just decided it's best if we just stayed out of it, cause war's too messy, you know?" And then after Joel gives the most confused glance ever, we do find out the real reason is because this town has such a strong militia protecting its borders in secret that no one wants to mess with them, which makes a lot more sense, but it still comes across as random how nonchalantly that store lady mentions it regardless. Oh yeah, so we also learned that Kirsten Dunst and Jesse's parents could care less about the war that's going on, and that they live on farms somewhere in the country, which is all that these two women have in common. Also, they meet stranded US soldiers that eventually snipe some random dude that was trying to kill them. Like, for real, I'm not joking, this is very random. Most of the movie is just random events mashed together and, you know, hoping that we get something out of it.
You don't say. Huh?
Well, that was a massive waste of time.
Near the end, we find out from Joel, after all three of them arrive to the rebel camp, that they arrived too late to interview the president because the entire government has collapsed, that there's only a handful of US troop regiments defending the president in Washington, D.C., the remaining US troops will now attack the Capitol and execute the president very soon, and that Stephen McKinley died for nothing.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
After that shocking and crappy revelation, mind you, the last 18 minutes are literally just people fighting with zero contextual plot advancing talk. The Speaker of the House, I guess, gets shot in a failed negotiation, and in the last 4 minutes, Kirsten Dunst gets killed in an attempt to save the idiot Jesse, who, again, stands in the middle of a hallway that is currently engaging in heavy gunfire, and then decides with a gleeful smile to just photograph her mentor as she's falling down after getting shot. Then, like as if he's not known Kirsten Dunst's character for years, Joel basically tells Jesse to get up and move because they need the shot of the US president getting killed. After that, the US president gets shot, they get their media photo of everyone standing on his dead body, and the movie just abruptly ends.
What the bro?
Yeah, so I know y'all are curious about what my opinion on this is at this point, and all I can say is that this movie really needs that caution, do not approach sign, because this movie is dangerously misleading with its trailers. Normally, in our current day, movie trailers usually spoil what the whole plot of a movie is about right off the bat. But in this movie's case, it threw a reverse Uno card at us and jebaited us into thinking that we were going to get a decent action film set in the backdrop of a futuristic American Civil War, and instead all we get is a very boring film about war journalists wasting our time chasing a lead that led to people dying, and the fact that the two surviving reporters, who don't know about the existence of video cameras for some reason, give zero f***s like the mainstream media about the lives lost because we got the money shot.
Yes, that is accurate.
Oh, come on!
I've seen enough. Shut it down.
Now, I don't know if this film is secretly a satire of how crappy the world of war journalism is in general, because all the reporters care about is the story and not the people impacted by the story unfolding around them, or if it is genuinely a very crappy film, so in order to future-proof myself, I'll give this movie a 8 out of 10 if it eventually comes out that this was a satire film, and a 3 out of 10 if it turns out this film is as serious about its plot as I suspect it to be. Overall, it is a very mean film that brings nothing worthwhile in terms of learning or entertainment to the table, and honestly, it deserves to be thrown off a cliff for how bad it presents itself.
God damn.
I know slightly more, but still not enough about why the Civil War in the movie began. There was little to no character development, just template characters to be honest, and all I got out of it is that the creators of this film think that not only is the US government the Antichrist, but that anyone who owns guns is automatically a warmongering psychopath.
Good. Then it is business as usual, huh?
In other words, stay away from this visual cancer, stay for the next couple of seconds for another recommendation from yours truly, have a wonderful day, and Namaria, friends.
And now for something completely different.
What are stories but mystery boxes? There's a...
What a load of shit.
You wanna play games? Okay. I'll play with you. Say hello to my little friend! Damn!
Oh, no, I ain't messing with you. Oh, no.
Until next time, I'm a British person. Good night.
What? You want more?
It's okay. We know.